What's good YouTube, and welcome to the house. I have plans for today. We're gonna go see the Dragon Ball Broly Super movie, and I've heard only good things. My wife has the day off. It's gonna be awesome, and I've heard you guys should see it too, so maybe check that out if it's in your area. Good value for the entertainment. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the market that just cannot wait. Danger Snek, little Danger Snek is getting bought out on TCG Player, it seems, and people holding the line together despite the quantities. It's still towards that $33, $34 mark on eBay, but quickly goes up as well. So if you are thinking about this, it may be good to get it sooner than later, because as we've seen with Danger Jackalope, if a buyout happens, it seems like the fallout is a lot slower for the danger cards right now, and a lot of people predicting it won't be on the FNL list. I also think there is some implications for guaranteed level 3s for rank 3s and stuff like Salomon Greats and the likes, making your bamboozling Gossip Shadow, as it were. So maybe something to consider is that this could help Salomon Greats in some way, shape, or form, rather than just the OCG builds. I've heard murmurs and rumors, so that is an interesting thought, and we are seeing a price go up out of assumedly nowhere, but at the same time, we've seen Jackalope go up, the other level 3. Of course, Burning Abyss is great as well, being able to actually link spam with your rank 3 engine, and you use Snek and Jackalope in most builds as it was, so definitely just the ability to survive a ban list, the ability for future decks, and the potential that is there, and seeing not only current meta play, but also future meta play, I see why this is happening. Speedroid Terratop, similarly, a 3, is also played in OCG Salomon Greats, I was told, and they have 2 of these, but we do have a new Speedroid boss monster also announced that is insane. It's freaking crazy, and I can see why this is going up. There was a 31 available last night. It's actually sold. And I could see if it does peel off the 2, it going to $55. But that's just banlist speculation. So if we don't see Terratop at 2, I think this floats and heads back down. But there is hype surrounding it. There is an actual synchro that, you know, wants a wind machine tuner and then other things. And Terratop's going to help you get there. And we see one left for 30 over here. Does it say near mint? Let's see here. It says brand new, condition new, so that usually means near mint. The listing doesn't say it in the wording, but whenever something says new, typically it's nice and minty, and it looks nice and minty. So I'm guessing, just not using the wording that you want to hear in the listing, but it looks like 30 before 37, 38. So maybe somebody was like a little cautious and didn't grab that one. But brand new should mean near mint when you're looking at it. But I would even think that the lower rarities are something you might want to have a full playset of at just $3 for the super rares. And remember, the Starfoils had ridiculous buyouts before, and we'll cover some Starfoil buyouts during this market watch. I think you want to have your copies of Terratop now, because if it does peel off the 2, or even just good generically as playing a one of, yes, playing one of for that Takum Tomborg, but Takum Tomborg is its own curse as a brick, you might want to have your Speedroid stuff, as it were. Orcust is getting a little bit of hype on the market. Orchestrated Return's been up for a little bit of a second. This is specifically the card Jeff Jones showed that he had invested in, and it was just $3 towards January 5th, selling out. And then you look at the eBay history first sold, and you see the tail that it goes up and jumps to $8 and actually has a ton of sales. Let's actually go to sold items, and let's actually go to ended recently to show the tale of how this became expensive. You have sales at $9, $9, $8, 5 mixed in here. But if we scroll down just, well, quite a bit, because the sales have actually been taking off for this, you see January 11th, $3, $3, $3, $3, $3, as soon as January 10th also. But you see the bubble rising on the $5 ones getting bought out also. Orcust has a very high ceiling. It has a lot of hype in card design, and I think it personally will be a pretty darn good deck. So, still, even now I feel like this $8 secret might be somewhat of a cheap investment if you're thinking of it for the WCQ. Will it fall beforehand? I honestly don't know. The sales are actually there. The sales are, that's what I love about being able to see this. The sales are realistically there, so much so that even here the market price has already risen towards that $8 mark. It's recognized by TCG Player because there's sales put into this. So I don't know that this will be falling back down, and it might only be up from here. Madolche's, this has been up for a while. Also, Madolche Magellan up towards 30. Angeli actually towards 20 freaking 9. You have options for Angeli cheaper if you're willing to wait a while on eBay. $7 is way cheaper. And you see the fallout is faster over here for Angeli. Magellan's been bought out for a while, but again, cheaper options on eBay than TCG Player. So it's still up. It's still pretty hard to get these cards. Konami, if you're listening, this would be awesome to put in dual power. Just think about it a little. Some of these really expensive cards. I think, actually, Tiramisu being Ultimate Rare Unlims for 10 is pretty cheap. Let's see where those first eds land real quick. First ed, near mint, $25. Now, that is more what I expected. Everybody needs that little first ed stamp. You're already going higher rarity. Why not highest? And Chocolate Alum Mode has been holding surprisingly towards that $16 mark. But again, it feels like when you're looking at eBay, it's the cheaper for the sweets overall. This is a lot of cards in Market Watch, by the way, so I'm going a little faster than explaining as I normally would. Knightmare Griffin has actually been slowly creeping up over time, and I do think we're going to see that one YCS where someone's going to look like a genius for foolish burialing goods, something like Imperial Order or sending it from deck and then being able to set it. That's been the premise of Knightmare Griffin all along, but it's going to blow people's mind, even though that's basically what it's used for. And I think it has higher potential overall, and we see only 4-in-1s here at the 750 mark before we do get to 999 and heading on up. So TCG Player might be where you want to shop if you want to end quicker, but there are a couple of cheaper copies on eBay. It's just a suggestion from me. I think this card is highly underestimated, and as a pretty generic overall rank for 2+ monsters with different names, so you can get that awkward transition of a Link 3-in-1. You don't want to be missing out on this, in my opinion. Now, I did say Starfoil buyouts. DracoNet is getting bought out for its good old Starfoil highest rarity. Don't worry, we can be plebs and play commons. These just tend to not get a restock on quantities because not a lot of people open star packs, because star packs are pretty trashy as sets overall. You get a cheaper one over here on eBay if you want it in from Australia over time. Similarly, Conquery, Starfoil, $10 buyout. I think Starfoil buyouts in general are ridiculous. There is money to be made there. Like, obviously, if you bought these out at dollars and list them for 5s, maybe somebody who did the buyout will be like, I might need to get those so my buyout list stays, or they'll just ignore it and hope that yours sells, and you might get actual sales on them. So I mean, participating in the buyout, not the worst thing, but your sales rate, I have to imagine, will be pretty garbage. Although, Conquery, a lot of people do play Altergeist and get bored and want to fully haul out their deck. So I imagine, you know, this might be more successful than our good old DracoNet. But DracoNet used to be a 1-card Dinglong. Now it'll be Dinglong's new good old sister. We got that Ib card, the Ib Synchro, on the horizon, so maybe a little food for thought with DracoNet that it might actually see play somewhere, somehow. And, of course, it's not garbage with its being a level 3 also, but I've always liked this card. I've always thought it had potential, and I've always suggested when it was just a starter deck card to get it, but then it did see its star pack printing. Still only 3 printings, though. Interesting. Next up, we get to the Mythical Beast. I actually suggested this on my exclusive Market Watch feed on Patreon, and it's interesting because it's gone up throughout the day. Jackal King, we had a $12 listing on TCG Player. Now the lowest is like 14 actually, and I would have only suggested to get first eds, but they're also at 14, so there was available at $12.50 this morning. But Mythical Beast Master Cerberus first eds are pretty readily available as far as I know. Yeah, $3. Heckin' cheap for the first ed originals, and this is what I would get now rather than later. We have spell counters being actually used with a new structure deck featuring around them with pretty good cards announced that are going to be pretty hype. And these cards already usable in the current meta. Jackal King, of course, is just crazy in Pendulums, and we see it $13 over here. But when looking for First Ed Secrets, again, original Expo First Edition Secret, $245. Very affordable to get your original Cerberus's. Let me know if you think you'd be running Cerberus still. I personally think he's still such a powerful card, such a good card, along with Jackal King. I like both of these. And also, let me know if you would be considering other Mythical Beast right now, because they're freaking cheap for being ultra rares, and I don't know that Eagle has a reprint. Let's actually look that up. Mythical Beast, Garda, G-A-R-U-D-A, Garda. I actually don't know this one. Let's see. Well, that was weird. We'll just put Gar. Yeah, no reprinting of this. Interesting. Let me know if you would be running this. I used to see some decks on Dueling Book that would run this card, but would you be playing it with the new spell counter stuff? I guess we don't know until everything's revealed how we're gonna be mixing and matching. And kind of a final note here, Maxx Secret Rares. I didn't know this one until somebody on stream last night actually told me, hey, I found the first edition Storm of Ragnarok Maxx in my stuff, and I was shocked that it was $50-something. I think last time I bothered to look, because I always look at the ultimate rare, this was like $35. So really surprising to see the first edition's lowest be like $51, $50. You know, it's pretty crazy to see it rise and hit this mark. So let me know if you think it's actually worth investing in. I get that it's at 3 in the OCG. I get that people would be really excited. What do you think it realistically could go up to if it gets unbanned versus now? Because it's such a high price for first set originals. Everything, it feels like that nostalgia grip, right? People want to have high rarity, they want to be ready, but at the same time, like $50, really, for first edition. Y'all playing plant format? What are you doing grabbing these? Let me know if you are actually paying, you know, a decent amount for Maxx's and why. I do get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, yikes. Yikes. That's a yikes for me, dog. But thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you think. I know I threw in a couple suggestions here and there. I've gone a little fast today. Had a lot of cards to cover. But I got a hot date to catch with Dragon Ball Z movie tonight, or I guess Super as it were. But I'm super excited to go out to that. See you guys later. I'll have to get to the comment section later tonight, right? But yeah, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again later.